Hey guys! So it's been a couple days since I posted the Google form for you guys to submit your gay awakenings for episode 4 of the series. Episode 4, like it's a show on Netflix. Anyways, it's been a couple days and I promised you guys I would give you a week so that everybody has their time to submit and, get their research done in their collections and such. So yeah. For a little filler episode, just for now, somebody had the idea to have you guys submit would you rather questions, and I figured that'd be so fun, that'd be so cute, that'd be so early 2000s YouTube. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do a hat or bandana, so I did both. I don't know if it looks stupid or not, but when do I not look stupid? So don't make fun of me, please. I'd really appreciate that, so thank you. Would you rather have to sleep with an old man or never be in a non-toxic relationship again? I feel like old people get down. I feel like old people can kind of get down, not that I would know. I've never had an experience with an old man or anybody, period. Some old people, they still, they still go to town. They still
do the boom-ba-ya.
And I feel like they wouldn't be doing that if they didn't, have some skill, have some stamina, some drive, some power to it, So sleeping with an old person, I don't see that being the worst thing in the world. I would sleep with an old man and never be in a non-toxic relationship again. So this is a win-win for me, honestly. If you know any old men, send them my way, honestly, because the men my age, they are nothing but goblins and gremlins and ghouls that unfortunately walk amongst us, so any chance I have at not having to deal with them ever again, I'll take it. I'll take it, Would you rather have a vertical mouth or a horizontal butt crack? Vertical and horizontal, I forget which direction those are. So horizontal goes this way, right? And this is vertical. Okay, I feel like honestly, nobody except my mother when I was like, a fetus who could not fend for myself. That was the only time my butt crack was exposed to a human being other than me. And that will hopefully be the only time that my butt crack will be exposed to somebody who isn't me. But my mouth, that is on full display 24/7, and there's nothing I can do about that unless it was, back in, the pandemic days when we had to wear masks to go anywhere. But yeah, but then again, I have to think, what if I get back shots one day and my man has to see that sight, I just would have to let my man know, do not flip me over. I would have to forcibly be a pillow princess if I had a horizontal butt crack. But my face, this is like my job, I have to not look insane. And if I had a vertical mouth, I feel like that would throw me off so bad. Like when I think of a vertical mouth, all I could think of was the bun girl from Sausage Party. And don't get me wrong, she was so tea. I don't know how well I would do if my mouth looked and functioned like that. So unfortunately, I would have to take the horizontal butt crack, not willingly, but for my own sake, that's just what I'm gonna have to do. So, would you rather be transported to your favorite media, video game, TV show, etc., or never have to deal with financial insecurity ever again?
In this economy,
I will take financial security over literally anything. I would take not having to deal with financial insecurity over my own well-being. I would take it over my own happiness. I would take it over never gooning again. I would take it over never leaving my house ever again. Because regardless of, not having all these things, at least my bills are paid. At least my rent is paid. At least I can buy food whenever I want. At least I have money in my bank account. Like, you get the point. You get the gist. You see where I'm going with this, And if I wanted to be transported to my favorite fictional place or whatnot, I can pick up Wattpad. I can go to sleep have a nice little dream or two. I transported to my favorite places. I dated my favorite fictional crushes so many times. On Wattpad, in my dreams, daydreaming. It's my favorite pastime. So give me no financial insecurity any day. Would you rather kiss your best friend or a psycho ex? I will easily kiss my best friend over a man who has literally driven me
To insanity?
who has made me damn near want to check myself into a psych ward. You think I'm gonna kiss him over my best friend, i.e. the love of my life? Are you insane? Are you the psycho ex? I would rather eat my best friend out than have to make direct eye contact with my psycho ex ever again. Do not question my limits, my boundaries, you know? Because when it comes to my best friend, my affection knows no bounds. But when it comes to an ex, I never want to experience anything about you ever again, you know? And I would pay every dollar in my bank account to ensure that. So yeah, if my best friend wanted a little kiss on either one of her lips, I'm gonna do that for her. I'm gonna do that for her, especially at the expense of never having to be within a 500-mile radius of an ex. Would you rather fart really loud in class but it doesn't smell, or fart with no sound but it smells horrid? I'm gonna take the silent but deadly fart any day, because there's no way you can trace that back to me. You have no evidence, you have no proof. Who's your alibi? You know? You can't direct that back to me, so I'll take that any day. But a loud fart, regardless of if the fart smells bad or not, there's no coming back from that. I remember I was in like the 4th or 5th grade. The class was dead silent, other than the teacher explaining something on the board. And I could have sworn, you know, I had mastered making my farts quiet. But for some reason, the fart I let out that day, I physically felt the room shake. It was a 2.5 magnitude earthquake when I let that shit go. Did it smell? No. But the way my body felt on fire from the pure utter embarrassment that I felt, that everybody heard that and they knew it was me. It's been what, over a decade since that happened, and I still think about it at least 7 times a week. So you know what? I'm gonna take a silent fart any day over a fart that could have easily been mistaken as a bomb being let off. Would you rather have to not speak at all, or every time you have a disgusting, diabolical thought, you have to say it out loud? Speaking is my job. Yapping every dumb and borderline concerning thought that pops into my head is my job, you know? So if I never spoke again, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to connect with all of you and, you know, share things with you. And that would shatter my soul more, I think, than having to not have a filter, essentially. And I do have to admit, I do have some insane, intrusive thoughts sometimes, but they never cross a line, you know? I feel like I'm a decent enough human being to where even if my intrusive thoughts did have to be spoken out loud, there is somebody among me who would agree, who would have had that same thought as well. So you know what? I will speak every thought that pops into my head, and I won't be alone in having those thoughts, I can assure you. Hey mama, would you rather have your stomach growl really loud during a test and everyone knows it's you, or fart really loud during a funeral? So again, this situation has happened to me before. If you're from New York, you know about this thing called Regents, and those exams happened, I believe, twice a semester. So you would have one in January and one during the summer, and the Regents were basically a test to see how much you've learned in a specific subject in school, and if you passed it, you got to move on to the next thing. And if you failed, you had to retake that class again. Those tests were 3 hours long. And trust me when I tell you, you needed all of those 3 hours. I made the rookie mistake of not eating anything before that test. I did everything in my power to hold in those growls. My stomach literally shrank in on itself. I was so hungry. You know, my stomach was touching my back. I did everything I could. I drank water. I held my breath. I sucked in my stomach. But the loudest growl, you could have mistaken it for a lion escaping out of the zoo and somehow ending up in our classroom. That's how loud my stomach growled, fiending for food. And I just remember looking out the corner of my eye to see if anybody heard it or if they were too focused on their test, which I hope they were. But there was this one girl. I look in the corner of my eye and all I see is her shoulders shaking like this from laughing at me. From laughing at me.
This is so humiliating.
And she was right too. You know, I'm not mad at her. I have no animosity. I hold no grudge because I probably would have laughed too, you know, if I wasn't in that situation. But ever since I had to suffer through that trauma, every time I hear somebody's stomach growl, I feel nothing but compassion and empathy because I've been there. I remember going home after that day and looking up like soundproof clothes, you know, just the biggest hoodie you can imagine, the biggest jacket, anything that could potentially hide the sound of something like that, because I knew that wasn't the first and last time I would ever have to experience that. But yeah, no luck on finding soundproof clothes. So if you guys know anything about that, please let me know, because yeah, I still haven't recovered from that and I don't know when I will. I didn't even answer the question. What the hell? I would rather have my stomach growl during a test because I've already experienced it and I feel like I would know how to handle it better, you know? It's kind of like exposure therapy almost, in a way. It's like I've experienced it before and if I continue to experience it, I'll get better at handling the situation. Okay. Would you rather have unlimited bacon but no video games? Or games, unlimited games but no games?
What would you do if when you okay so he said yes would go?
Yes. Would you rather bounce on Laura Rogers' strap or eat Dubai chocolate for the rest of your life? Bonus points if the strap is Dubai chocolate flavored.
I'ma eat it.
Be homeless or as aid? Oh, okay. So, great question, actually. So, there's this place, I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but it's called, I think it's called an asylum or a psych ward, one of those two. I hear the ones with maximum security are like the best ones you can get into. So, DM me and I'll meet you there. And after you admit yourself, then I'll answer your question for you. Okay? Would you rather have your partner always tell you the truth, even when it's brutally relationship ending honest, or have them lie to you just once, but it's the lie that keeps your relationship alive forever? I don't want to live a lie. You know, I don't want to be one of those people who are delusional in the relationship, you know, when it's like everybody knows something that you don't. And whenever you pop out with your man or your girl and, you know, you just look so happy and so
dumb,
for lack of a better term, but everybody in their mind knows what's going on and you don't. I would hate to be that girl. There is nothing that would destroy my soul and my spirit more than being one of those people. I would hate to have somebody look at me with pity because they know some deep, dark truth that I don't. So yeah, I would rather have been told the truth than to be delusional and dumb. Would you rather relive your happiest memory once but lose it forever afterward, or keep every memory you've ever had but they slowly fade in color and feeling until they all feel the same? Well, that got dark, didn't it? That got a little dark and a little depressing, babes. I feel like I could find a loophole here, you know? Like, what if I just write it down? What if I have that memory, I write it down, and then choose to relive it once, you know? But I still have it written down. So I know it exists, but I just physically can't remember it myself. But at least I have some form of evidence that it was real and it did exist. I feel like that's a cute little loophole that I would like to use. And they said, or keep every memory you've ever had, but they slowly fade in color and feeling until they all feel the same. Because that would infer that my happiest memory would lose its touch and its significance. And you know, I wouldn't want that. I would want my happiest memory to feel like my happiest memory versus it eventually have the same significance as a memory of me taking a shit, you know? So I would rather relive my happiest memory once versus all of them becoming the same meaningless shit, you know? Would you rather be poor and straight or rich and gay? When I was younger and did not know that I was bisexual, you could say I was poor and straight, and I will do anything in my power to not go back to that. You know, me being gay or bi, as you could say, and rich, I'm halfway there. I'm halfway there. So this question is basically, do you want to go back to being poor or do you want to become rich? Easy question, babes. I'm gonna be rich and fruity as fuck. Yeah, that was it for Would You Rather. Some questions were, you know, good. Other ones have me concerned for some of you guys' mental well-being. But what's new? You know? I haven't done a confessions video in a while, but those videos always leave me with the same feeling, you know? You get some good ones and you get some ones that make you question your own audience. The luck of the draw, I guess. The luck of the draw. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, do all that shit. Follow my socials, links in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next freaking video. Adios.